Hi, I'm Reverend Gary Kurth, Pastor Gary Kurth. We're here in our ministry center, and we've been here for about 4 years now. The history goes back to work days that we did in the neighborhood with a local organization that revitalized. And those times, every month we'd have a work day. And during those times, little by little, God was showing Cindy and I just what it was going to be like to be here and what it meant to us. Little by little, God started revealing that we were called to be here. It is one of those things where it just took almost 4 years or 3 years of those work days. I felt God's voice and heard God's voice in my heart. And it was an overwhelming sense of, I heard his voice say, "Why aren't you going?" For before that, we were looking for someone to be the first boots on the ground to move to the neighborhood and to start a ministry, because the work days were awesome, but we knew that God wanted to do more here. We just didn't know who that would be. At first I said, yeah, we need to find that guy. And little did I know that God was changing my heart and speaking to me and calling me that I was that guy, and Cindy was my wife that would be here together to start this ministry. And so here I am standing in the ministry center 4 years later from that time. And I can tell you that I've never felt more alive in my walk with God since his call that day. And since then we've moved to the neighborhood. We bought an old house, and we fixed it up well enough that we're very comfortable there. But in the neighborhood, we've started so many different things to be able to reach out to the neighborhood. It was a slow start. And so therefore we just started to try to meet people, because people weren't really necessarily flooding our door or coming to our house. It was, God literally said, you need to go, and you need to get out, and you need to greet people. And so we started with a wave and a smile. And I'll never forget that. I said, God, this is silly. We're just out in the front yard waving at anybody that would pass by. And it was just one of the most simplest things that God gave us to do. And it was amazing how people stopped and how people responded. All of a sudden, heads would turn and smiles would start. And it was just one of those processes that God used the very simple things in life, just being a neighbor who is called to the neighborhood to spread the love of Christ. And that's really what we're all about. The neighborhood ministry, our vision statement, our mission statement has become very simple. Hope for Renewal seeks to serve, to build relationships, to share the love of Christ, and to share the gospel message to this neighborhood. And so that's how it all started, and that's how we got here. It's just been an amazing, amazing journey since then. We've focused on several different areas here in the neighborhood. One is outreach, which is the serving part. And we serve by several different things. We serve by prayer walking. And that was one of the things that Cindy, my wife, told me before we moved here. The story goes that I felt God say, "Why aren't you going?" But I also heard him say in that moment that I want to take this neighborhood and take the struggles and the poverty and all those things, and just to make it empowered by Jesus to overcome those things. And I know we're just one couple in a neighborhood and one ministry, but we knew we were called to one life at a time to redeem and to give new life to a neighborhood in the name of Jesus. And so when I went home and told Cindy that day, basically she told me, she was by the stove cooking, and I kind of walked in, and I knew what God had said. And I said to her, so what do you think about the neighborhood and the ministry in the Idora neighborhood? And she said, I've wondered why you're not going. And it was from that moment on. But she gave me 2 stipulations that she would go. She said, I will go, but it means that, one, that whatever house we get, it has 1 bathroom and 1 sink that works. And that's exactly what we found. We found an old house that needed, they call it a lot of love here in the neighborhood, and it was barely livable, but it had 1 sink in the bathroom and 1 toilet in the bathroom that flushed. And that was enough to say, Cindy, I'll go. But the second stipulation was more impactful. She said, I will not go until we prayer walk every single street in the neighborhood before I leave here. And so that's what we decided to do, and that has been the foundation of our ministry, is prayer walking the neighborhood. And so we are relying on God's power and authority in this neighborhood. And that's a little brief history of how we got here and why we're here. We're here to give the love of Christ through serving and building relationships. Where we're standing right now is the ministry center. It's to be the main room, the worship room, the cafe. You can't see right now, but all the lights have been redone. We have a tin ceiling. We feel really blessed that this will be an incredible room. This right over here will be a cafe bar. If you can imagine a coffee bar right here. We'll serve there. And over this way will be where we worship from, where sermons will be given, and where actually programs, outreach programs from the cafe will be. We envision even an open mic night where people can share their talents and music and different things like that will be from right in this area here. And so this is just the main worship room and the main cafe room. This will be the commercial kitchen here. You have to use your imagination. I know it looks really rough still, but it is, where it's at right now is just an amazing. Here's the new tile floor at the bottom. Over here we see this is the new gas lines that have just been put in. Convection oven, main stove range with a griddle, and then a fryer. Over here we'll have under-counter dishwasher, 3-basin sink, a prep sink, and then a hand-washing sink, and even over there we'll have a freezer and a large refrigerator here. Not walk-ins, but just door-open refrigerators. And that'll be our kitchen. We'll have a prep area in the middle, and we're really hoping and praying that this kitchen will be used to feed many, many people. We can envision churches coming and making soup for us, and then we can serve it, or spaghetti, or one of those kind of meals that will have community meals. That's what we envision happening in this room, in this kitchen. We needed to make the whole building handicap accessible, so we had to put in 2 brand new bathrooms, men and women's room, and they will be handicap accessible. And open the doorway up for accessibility also. This will be the front door, and if you can tell, we just made a big circle, and right over here is the entrance into the cafe over here in the main meeting room as you come in from the front. We were standing in the back before, so it's really a pretty awesome room. It looks bigger than it does from the outside, and we just feel really blessed to be here with this building.
Yeah.
As we get downstairs, we just wanted to show you some of the work that's been done. This is the hot water tank that Bakerstown was incredible how that got here and things, and it's just it's all installed. It is ready just to light. The other hot water tank is here, and then the other side of the cellar has the 3rd hot water tank. And this is just some of the work that's been done here. You can see all the new plumbing, the new sanitation lines, the new drains, all the new feed lines. It's just been a miracle. All the new furnaces. There's 2 here, and there's 2 on the other side. So everything's had to be redone, but it is amazing to see how far the building has come already. And so this building will be used for ministry in a lot of different ways, not just to serve coffee, but to build relationships, to serve the neighborhood so that we can share the name of Jesus. He's raised up a worshiping community in our neighborhood. And so far, we started last November, and during the COVID times, when we started again in June, we've been meeting in our front yard under canopies, which God has blessed. But it will be really awesome the first day that we worship in this building, when it is close enough to be able to come in out of the cold in November. And that has been our goal, that has been our hope and joy, is to worship in this building. So those are some of the outreach things. Obviously, some of the finances and things are still needed. And I think we can see the light through the end of the tunnel now. God has blessed us, and God has provided, and I know He will provide even in the future.